gonna keep it low. Now, if you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. I just got an awesome vibe, striking the winner post. Now, liberty's on my mind. We've taken off, we've left the ground. You gotta understand that we get one chance.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another little video to help you guys save time and money in the kitchen. Today we're actually going to be looking at storage solutions from Kmart that you can put into your kitchen to help organize, save time and money in some cases, and just make things a little bit more functional, I'm going to say. So that's what I'm all about now, is functionality in the kitchen. So less about the Pinterest worthy picturesque looks and more about the functionality. You guys have loved some of the things I've been doing of recent in there, especially like those new shelves that I just got, which I'll show you guys in a minute in case you haven't seen it. The shelves I just got where I'm putting my tea and coffee and things on them, and now the mugs. They have been amazing, honestly. I have something very similar in my fridge, which I'll show you guys. And then I've also got some questions about these roll-away tub things that I actually have in the pantry, which again aren't Pinterest worthy, but they are very functional and just work really well. Everything helps me save, you know, some time in the kitchen, obviously, because things are more organized and clean, and I can just see things when I'm doing my grocery planning and all the meal planning and that, so it helps in that way. But it also saves money as well, because I'm seeing things clearly. I'm not overbuying on things. Just the fact that I actually got stuff from Kmart has saved me money as well, instead of spending money on really expensive storage solutions. So I want to share this with you guys today, because we are going to go to Kmart and we are actually going to see some other things that I thought I might try in my pantry perhaps as well. So I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride. So these are the shelves that I just recently bought that you guys love. I think they were $12. I'll definitely check the price today. But I've put one side for tea and coffee and the other side I've got for mugs. So I usually have these, a couple of nice mugs that I like, and then some really nice patterned white ones, but they're in the wash at the moment. You could hang tea towels from these if you wanted to, or they do come out and you could actually put your paper roll. I don't, because of where it is over the toaster and things, so I don't do that. The reason I wanted these though was because this cupboard up here, which I'm in the middle of organizing, I just had so much going on in here. It was just a pain pulling everything out all the time. It was just so cluttered, honestly. So I have some other mugs here that we want to keep and have, but a lot of it, you know, all the tea, we have lots of different teas, different coffees and stuff. I need to restock some things as well, like sugar and stuff like that up here. So I really was limited on space because I don't have a lot of storage in my kitchen. So just adding this has helped so much, and they look really nice, honestly. They do, when you have the doors closed, they are open just a little bit, but because I've got two, it's quite even, and honestly, you just can't tell. In my pantry, I've had quite a few questions in the last week about these. These are, I think they're called roll-away storage, I think, drawers. Roll-away storage drawers. I think that's what they're called on the actual website. I will confirm that today. We'll have a look for them. I'll tell you the price. There is different types you can get, like different sizes, different heights, like that's the depth of those. And I obviously actually already had these. I was using these when I had all my shop products, and I was using them actually as shelves. So because these bits here, you can actually move them and make these sections different sizes. So they were fabulous. Of course, I'm now using them in my pantry, but this is just to separate, like I've got muesli bars in there, chips, I've got my gummies in here, and what are they? Like the yogurt sultanas. I think I've got the little rice things in here. I've got a whole big section for popcorn because we usually have a lot, and then I've got different types of cookies, and then usually like a pretzel or popcorn refill sort of section I have there. So they're very easy for everyone. It's easy just to go in here and know what we've got and be able to pick them. It's great for refilling for me as well. Now you're probably thinking, if you had this in your house, the kids would just eat all this in one go because it looks very enticing. We have rules around this, okay? People know that it's just one of each thing per day. That's what it is, okay? So after school, they'll often come here, and yes, at school they might have an extra packet of chips or something like that, but they'll come in here after school and they'll want some snacks and things, and they know. So they're only allowed to have one of each thing, like one out of this. They couldn't have this and this. They know that they can have just one out of this section. So that's what we kind of allow, and the kids are pretty good at sticking to that. My pantry used to look very pretty because I used to have a lot of these clear containers like this, and then storage tubs like this where I had all the snacks in. Like my cupboard was just full of this stuff, and I'd have really nice labels on there. It was very Pinterest worthy. Obviously you can see in here, this is just my baking stuff, so no one really goes on this side of the pantry, and that's why I just keep that stuff because it's a good sized tub. But in the end, stuff like this is what I needed. I just needed functionality. I still obviously have some of these containers because I need to, like biscuits and stuff, I need to seal things like that, but I just don't have a lot of them. Another great space saver for me was this little device. I can't remember how much this was. I'll see if it's still available. But it's got 2 drawers that you just roll away on it, and because I needed like shelves, I needed some extra spots so that I didn't have to stack containers on top of each other like this, where I could just see things easily, grab them and do that. So I do spices up here that I use. I do have my cup of soups in there just to give a little bit more space here because there's not a lot of space. And then down here I have a lot of meal-based stuff. So that's what I use it for, but you could put even snacks in these and just have multiple ones of these. It's not as big, so you can't fit as much in though, I would say that. So for snacks, you know, obviously for functionality this is going to work a lot better. But for smaller things, this has been amazing. And then in my fridge, because I don't have a huge fridge, I mean, it's a good size for us, but I wanted more space, I have these drawers. I have had these for years, so I don't even know if they sell them still, but they hook onto the shelf, much like the tea and coffee one that you guys saw before. And just, you can see up the top there, and then you can just put whatever in the drawers. The drawers do come with like a divider that you can take out like I have, or you can change around if you want to split some stuff. But I have cheese in here generally, and in this one I'll have open types of deli meats like salami, cabana, ham, that type of stuff. While they're still in their bags and things, I'll have them in here. So that's really great, and I would highly recommend these. I just feel like this added so much space to my fridge, along with this simple shelf up here. You wouldn't think this would do much, this tiny shelf here, honestly. It just gives that extra space underneath, and then I always have my eggs on top of here, so that is so good. I can just fit so much more in the fridge when you've got solutions like this. This recent purchase also has been a great space saver and time saver. I'm going to say that because, and money saver, because I would forever, because I had lots of those like glass containers like this that I would separate everything into. And the reason I do separate everything is so it lasts longer. If you put all the garden salad stuff in the one bowl, it doesn't last very long, okay, because the lettuce is going to go first, and then you've got to throw everything out. So I always do it like, you know, in separate containers, which I've done for years. This is a new container that's at Kmart. I can't remember the exact price, but I will show you because they have other sized ones as well. I wanted to try this and it's been great. It's got little drawers, they call drawers like sections in here that have holes in them. So that in itself helps things not have so much moisture with them because it's not touching the flat surface, which has been great. And everything's still separate, so instead of at night having to pull out every single container, put it out, and not, you know, want to put it back and not have it as easily accessible for the kids, you know, in that way too, this has been a game changer for me. I just pull that whole thing out, put it out when we're going to do salad with dinner, and then just put it back in. And even at lunchtime and stuff, you know, the kids can pull this whole thing out and just pick out what they want, and they like to do that because they love tomatoes. So it's been amazing, like really amazing, that one. That's been a good purchase, and it doesn't take up a lot of space either. I could even buy another one and put a second one on top, which would be fantastic. All right, we're off to Kmart. I do have Isabella with me. Hi. She's going to come and help me and find some stuff. I think too, like, so what I'm really aiming for me is a couple of pantry things. Like, I actually want the shelves that will hook onto it, very similar to what the tea and coffee is on, like I said. And then I have another big drawer that's just a mess because I have one container in there, but I need a couple more just to section it off a bit so I can utilize that a lot better as well. So I'm looking for those types of things mainly, but we will look at some other stuff. Oh, and a fruit bowl. That was my other thing, is like, I'm thinking maybe I might be able to use those shelves that hook on as a space saver in the pantry to put fruit on, because I can't really have a fruit bowl out anywhere on the bench. There's no room on the bench in my house, and if I put it on the kitchen table, I'm worried Snuggles might get to it and want to sit in there or something. So yeah, well, I'm thinking about fruit a lot actually, and I do have like a fruit drawer in the fridge, but it's a bit of a, like, you don't see everything in it and stuff, so it's a bit of a pain and people don't go into it quite often for that reason. So I'm just trying to find a better way to display the fruit, so people look at it, so it's functional. People look at it and they see it and then want to eat it, because if people see stuff they want to eat it, and they're usually at my house. So it's just trying to find a way of doing that that's not going to cost me an arm and a leg. Alright, just quickly, there's the container that I showed you in the fridge. It's $10, but they do have a smaller version. Look at this. For $6.50. It doesn't have the holes in it though. So, I mean, for this, what would you use this for? Snacks or something? I don't think I'd use it at home for anything. They do have bigger storage ones, which would be great if you had different lettuces perhaps, because of the size of the actual containers. That's what, 2.3 litres, so it's going to take up a bit, and it's $13. They do have this flatter one as well, which is not quite as high. And I mean, they're showing a few different things in here. I suppose you could. It's not something I would use, but it is an option, and you could obviously buy multiple and stack them, and they are $10 each. This is the big drawer that I've got the fruit currently in the fridge, which works okay, but it's just the stuff at the back people don't see, so it's a bit of a, I don't know, I would like a better solution. And I do like, I did think, oh, I can't open this, but I did think about these drawers. Now these are $12 each, and I thought maybe I could stack two in the fridge and have like apples in one and then different fruit in the other, and I think people would be more likely to get stuff out of them as long as they took this sticker off and people could see in there. I'm splurging and going with 4 of those big drawers. I've got an idea for them, so we'll test them and see if it'll work. If it doesn't, I might return a couple, but at the moment we're going to go with 4 of them. We've got a smaller one again that can be stackable, obviously 2 of them. They got a couple of capsicums in there. They are $10. I think if you've already got the vegetable crisper, maybe you wouldn't need something like this, but it just depends if you need more space with ones that you want to use up first maybe. And then itty bitty size little split one as well, and that is $7.50. This is actually interesting. I like the idea behind this, because I often put meats in Ziploc bags, like multiple ones, and then into that drawer. But this one here, this is $7, and you can put, there's 3 different sections. I just don't know how well it seals between the layers, because that's obviously the lid there, but it does say to let you safely stack multiple containers and save fridge space. So this would be good. I don't think I'll use it, but this is a good option. I'm interested to know how well it seals though. They also have these big sets, but honestly they're just containers. They don't have they've got a little bit of a ripple in the bottom of them, but they don't have the, you know, the whole insert, so things are going to get moisture very quickly. They're $27, and then the 5-piece, this is more of that hard plastic like this. I don't think, it doesn't have the inserts in them, and they're $42. Here's the other shelf that I've got that I showed you guys, so $12 like I said. This one here is something I was humming and hawing about. I was thinking maybe I could put fruit in this in the pantry. So that's $9 for that. You could put snacks and stuff in here too maybe, but I still like my big tubs to do that. But this I'm thinking would be good. What's Isabella doing over there? You found a bin, did you? Yeah, I'm thinking this might be good for the fruit though. That's what I'm thinking with that. And then maybe I might even have 2 to do some bread stuff with. They do have lots of the plastic sort of things that will separate like your sauces and things. So like, you know, your Lazy Susan as well, that's up there, if that's what it's still called. I don't really have a use for these because we don't have a lot of sauces that we use. And these, I don't feel like these are very good unless you've got really narrow shelvings. I am looking at these containers because those containers I showed you in the cupboard, they don't seal perfectly, like the lids come off, so it's hard to put cookies and stuff in it because they go stale after a while, especially dry biscuits. So I'm looking at containers like this because look at the lid, you just lock it like this and it seals really well. I like this idea. There's different sizes, but I'm thinking maybe this would be good. This one here, it's $45. There is a smaller one for $25, but the size of the containers are just too small. This has got at least 2 of the containers, 3 of the containers that I actually want, plus the other ones I could use for my protein bars and things. So I'm thinking I might actually get this one. Here are all the roll-away drawers. This one here is the one that I've got in the pantry. So it says it's $15, yeah. And these, see the shelves? You can just hook them into the different little slots here, and that's how you change the size. So they're the ones I've got, the biggest ones, and then you've got more narrow drawers, you've got flatter ones, and then you've got Oh no, that's the same one. Flatter ones there. So these ones are $13. These ones are $13, the narrow high ones. These would be good for your pantry. And then the ones I've got there are $15 each. Oh, and they do have a smaller one again. Oh, it doesn't have sections in it though, so just the drawers. Oh no, they do. Just that one doesn't. So it does have sections in it you can move. They're $9. So, and all these too, you can stack them, which is really good too. They do have a lot of drawer inserts too, if you don't mind. Most places like that you live in nowadays have the split drawer in for utensils and stuff, but if they don't, they do have those here. What are they? $6 for that one. And then this bigger one here, that looks a bit fancy, that's $15. I did see this as well. This is $5. You know how I'm stacking all my cans up, which I would still do, but maybe I could get more layers up. I don't know. Maybe it's not really worth it for me because I'd be using it for soup and stuff.
Yeah, I'd use this one.
You like that? What would you use that for?
If I had a whole bubble, if I got lots of bubbles.
Oh, all your makeup.
I would stack them all on here for display.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It doesn't look like they sell my tubs anymore, guys. They've replaced them with these, which feel very thin. I mean, they'd be good for still in your freezer because they've got the holes in them. Hang on. What is it? Oh, that is very nice, but no good for the freezer. You want plastic. This one's huge too. It's actually bigger than my other ones. Yeah, but I don't think... Is there lids? I don't know if there's lids. I don't think there's lids anymore. Oh no, there's lids here. Maybe. Oh no, they're for those containers. I don't know why there's yellow, but oh, that doesn't look like lids, so no, maybe they wouldn't have. These would be good too, I guess. You could use these, but yeah, they're a lot thinner and flimsier than what I had. They do have these containers, but they don't have holes in them. I guess they got that hole, so you could use them in the freezer, but they've got the lids on them. Oh, these are great though. Now these would be good for pantries and things because they're huge. They've got holes and they've got lids. I could even use that in my freezer probably, or maybe the smaller size. That would still be good. You're still separating everything, but it's got the holes and it's a better quality. So these ones are $12 and there's holes in them still for the freezer, which would be good to let, you know, air through like this. You can see that. This is what I go for, this type of thing. And they've got them in the grey as well. Alright, I'm home. I'm just going to get all this stuff out of the car and we're going to see how it goes in the kitchen. Undershelf baskets, I've put 2 up because I had the idea of fruit going up in here, because I normally have fruit down here and it's stacked with more bread stuff and it's just a whole mess. So I like this concept. It's breathable like the fruit baskets and that would be as well, so I think that's good. And it's the first thing, like when you open up the pantry, you're going to see this. So I think this is super. I like this. The thing is, if I have like bananas, I could move this into here and then have the bananas separate, because quite often when you have bananas obviously together in a fruit bowl, it makes things go bad quicker, especially the bananas. So I like that. That's a good space saver. The 10-piece pack that I got, I'm just going to have a look and see what everything is, because I kind of tried to guess what things would be. Now the little containers was the only thing I thought, oh, what am I going to do with these? But I could use these for my baking stuff, I think. So my sprinkles and choc chips and stuff like that. So they're okay. Ooh, okay, that's a good one. Hopefully my spaghetti fits in that. My spaghetti's cut in half because it was in a container that it wouldn't fit all the way up. So I don't know if a whole thing would fit in there still, but when it's on its angle, it probably would, because I usually just do 1 pack at a time anyway, so it probably would fit in there. But I just want to show you the top of these again. So that's, I don't know if you can see the ceiling on that, but nothing special on the side, doesn't look like. But this up here, game changer. Look at that. Look at that. You can pick it up like this. It's actually sealing for a change, whereas the Kmart containers were kind of hit and miss with that type of thing. This I love. I love this concept. This is going to save money because you're not throwing out stuff like cookies and stuff like that that have gone stale because, you know, it's not sealing properly. So that is a game changer, honestly. Okay, I've done a little size testing for you guys if you buy that big pack. So this was the smaller one. For me, I can't really use this for much. Like, I've put in my little, what are they, chickpea things. I've got 3 packets in there, not much. I could, however, fit stuff like this in it, like little ones. If you wanted to limit, you can't put like these in it. You just can't fit enough in them. I tried to put my almonds in it, but stuff like this that's little and soft, you could put some stuff in. But the little ones, I'm not sure. Tea and coffee, that type of thing, you could use it for perhaps, and there's 3 in the box. So, I mean, you could use it for that. Then you've got these ones here. Now these ones I've just put my what are they called? Like my protein bars and stuff like that in both of these bottom ones. These would be good for muesli bars, like that type of stuff. You could do that. They're good. I've got them and I'll use them for stuff. However, I feel like these two sizes are the best ones I would have. Now, this was actually in the store by itself, and I think it was $10 for that. This one is a 700 ml, and when I was in there, I couldn't find this in my Kmart, but a lady was in there looking specifically for this size, and she said she saw it online for $7.50. So let's have a look and see if we can find it. Alright, my mistake. It looks like this one here is roughly around, I think on the box it says 1.5, but I would say that's the closest, is a 1.6. $7.50. I couldn't get that in my store. They didn't have it. That's the size that I was looking for because I thought that would be a good happy medium for, like, I would probably use these to put all my muesli bars or protein bars and stuff like that for me that I have. Obviously the ones that we've got for the kids are actually in here and that works well. But otherwise I'd want this size container. And then this one here is this one, which is $10 and it's 2.4 liters. Okay, so that would be my picks. I would say the 2.4 liter and the 1.6 would be the ones to get to do a lot of things in the pantry. They're more versatile on what you could use them for. This one here would be great for pasta. I think you could fit a whole 500 gram bag of pasta in there probably. These little ones here, like I said, if you were buying them by themselves, they're the 700 ml. So they're what, $5.50 each. So I think what would the cost be of this whole pack? Okay, so to buy the whole 10 pack of these, so you've got 3 of the little ones, 2 of this size like that, you've got 2 of these bigger ones and 2 of the medium size, that would cost you, what did I calculate, $59.50 if you were to buy them separately. If you buy them in a pack like this, then it's only going to be, what was it, $45. So I would say if you think maybe you could use these smaller ones, then buy the pack and give it a go and see what you think. You could even return them, honestly. If they're not going to work for you, you could return them, see the size of these containers, and maybe you might want to just buy these little ones, or maybe you want to buy just the big ones. So otherwise I think it's a great value pack, definitely for the price. Okay, I did buy 4 of these, like I said, but I'm going to give it a go and see what happens in the fridge. I know they're quite tall, so I just don't know how I'm going to go because I already have those other shelves in there, so I think that's going to take some space. But my plan, if it works, would be to have some fruit in 2 of these, and then these other ones would be for things like yogurts, because I have yogurts and custards for the kids, and then I have high protein ones for Johnny and I. So anything, because of the size of them, like how the depth of them, I can fit stuff behind it to restock. That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know. We're going to see how this goes, see if I can fit in all 4 drawers. Oh, I was definitely too ambitious. I think I was thinking of the fridge that I've got in the garage. This is not going to work. However, if I move that shelf, maybe I can make it work. All right, I can actually only fit 2 in. I took the shelf out and it just wasn't going to work. It was going to take away space for me in the kitchen. So I've put the shelf back. I'm using 2 of these. So this one's going to have, I've got apples and pears in there. And this stuff is just for me to rotate through into the pantry. I keep it in the fridge because it makes it last like weeks, like probably 2 to 3 weeks. So that'll stay there. And then on this side will be all usually like grapes, strawberries, that type of thing. So that will work. I just got the yogurt in the middle, and if I get custard, that just goes here as well. And then down the bottom here, I just have my normal, obviously this is already made up, salad stuff, our chicken, any meat that I'm going to cook, that type of thing will all be on this shelf here. So I would have liked to have put a drawer up underneath this shelf here, but it just doesn't fit. So my yogurts, I never have a lot of them, so they can just stay there. That's completely fine. And then there's room for other things if I want to put anything there as well. But I think it still worked well for me. I do have a very small fridge in the kitchen compared to the one out the back. So I think this will work because I just don't want to give up these drawers. These drawers I've had for years, and they're just too valuable for space and storage solutions in a small fridge. Like, I love them. I did not see these today in Kmart, so that's a bit disappointing, but you might be able to get something similar online somewhere. Yes, I'm cozy in my jammies now. I am like getting ready for the night to just end it. Isabella actually has a friend over, so I've actually just spent the last 2 to 3 hours actually doing some fun things with them and just getting them organized. I've just put them into bed. It's quite late, it's like 10 o'clock, but I've said 5 more minutes, you can watch some shows, and then I'm turning everything off. So they're going to do that. But I did spend some of that time actually cleaning up the rest of the kitchen and getting things organized. So I think I'm pretty happy with the storage solutions for sure. And obviously they're very affordable and stuff. I think I might, if I'm going to get more of those containers in the pantry, the ones that seal really well, if I'm going to get those, I'll probably get the large ones and the next size down that I got, if I can get them. The middle-sized ones weren't in my store, but I'm sure you could just order them online, because I did see them online, so maybe I'd do that. So I think they're great. Like, they're the best sealing containers I've seen them have, because they've had some doozies over the years that just, you know, just didn't seal. The rubbers would fall off them, like they were terrible. So these are great, and I did notice on the box it says patent protected, so that means they've got license, no one else can copy that design and stuff. So it's not like you can get those anywhere else, like the lids, how they seal. So they've gone to some effort now, and I think they needed to do that because they did have containers that weren't great, you know what I mean? They weren't sealing properly, which makes your food go bad, and then you've got to throw your food out, so it's a waste of money. So those containers now are great for saving money. They're going to keep your food fresh as you need them, and just they're a good size, like they're slim, they're just perfect. I really liked them, they were really good. The drawers in the fridge, I wish I could have fitted 4 in there, but I couldn't. So anyway, I just worked with what I had, and I'm pretty happy with that, so that's really good. The fruit baskets in the pantry, we'll see how that goes, but I feel like they're gonna go well. I love these these shelf, what are they called? Undershelf drawer storage, undershelf storage baskets, I think that's what they're called. I like these. I've got the ones in the pantry now, the ones above the toaster and that have the tea and coffee in that, and the ones in the fridge that have the drawers. I wish they hadn't got rid of those, because they are fantastic for fridges. Like, if you need more space, they just go straight on. I did not see any of those in Kmart today, so that's a little bit disappointing, honestly, because I think if more people knew about them, they are so good. Like, they're just so super for having extra storage at a really low cost, and just, you know, you don't have to buy a bigger fridge because you can create extra storage within the existing space, and not sort of think, oh, I have to get a bigger fridge because I can't fit everything in it. Like, they're just so good. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for me today, guys. I hope I gave you some ideas and inspiration and all of that. Even my little walk through Kmart, I hope you enjoyed that and saw some things that maybe you might be able to use. Let me know in the comments if you do have any of these, or if you're looking at trying to do something similar. I'd be interested to know. Just remember, you don't need to have anything that's Pinterest perfect as far as pictures and stuff. All those things don't match up. My pantry, the colors don't match up. I've got black baskets because they don't make them in white. I've got the clear containers with the white lids now. Everything's just all a mishmash, honestly, but it's about functionality. And if you can make it functional, things are just going to run so much easier in your kitchen. So I would look at doing that rather than get inspiration from Pinterest, but don't try to have a perfect pantry, guys. You don't need it. You just need it to work well, and you know, or have it organized so you don't waste money. You know, that's the biggest key, is you can see everything, it's organized well, you're not gonna double up on things or have things expire when you don't realize because you don't know you've got it. You just make it functional, and that will be the win for you. All right, guys, I'm gonna end today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you probably tomorrow. Bye.